Okay, let's talk about parallel and perpendicular lines for a second. Okay, we want to know the equation of a line through a particular point parallel. Parallel means they have the same slope. Okay, so that means we need to find the slope of this line. Okay, so I'm going to start out with 3x minus 2y is equal to 2. Subtract 3x from both sides, and you get negative 2y is negative 3x plus 2. Divide everything by negative 2, and you get y equals 3 halves x minus 1. So we need this as our slope. Okay, since it's a parallel, it's the same slope. And then it is through this point. So we're going to have to start out with point slope form. This would be my x1 and my y1. So I have y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So y1 is 2. The slope is 3 halves. Whoops, and x1 is negative 1. Okay, so this gives me y minus 2 is equal to 3 halves times x plus 1. Now, it says write an equation, so this is okay in point slope form. However, if it should ask you to write it in slope intercept form, then of course you're going to distribute. So this is point slope form. But y minus 2 is equal to 3 halves x plus 3 halves. Then I'm going to have to add 2 to both sides. So over here, 3 halves plus 2 is equal to 3 halves plus 4 over 2, which gives us 7 halves. So that gives us y is equal to 3 halves x plus 7 halves. So again, depending upon what the question asks, if you want slope intercept, you have to go an extra step. Okay, if it is perpendicular, the slopes are opposite reciprocal. The slopes are opposite reciprocal. Okay, so I have to start out finding the slope. So I have 2x minus 3y is equal to 4. Subtract 2x, negative 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 4. Divide everything by negative 3, and you get y equals 2/3 x minus 4 over 3. So our slope becomes the opposite, so it's negative, upside down is 3 halves. That's the slope that I need. Then, of course, I'll use this as my point. So we'll call this x1, y1. So I have y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. y1 is negative 3. M is negative 3 halves. And x1 is negative 1. So this becomes y plus 3 is equal to negative 3 halves times x plus 1. This is my point slope form. But if the question asks me to put it in slope intercept form, then again I've got to distribute. So that gives me y plus 3 is equal to negative 3 halves x minus 3 halves. When I subtract 3 from both sides, that turns into negative 6 over 2. So that gives me y is equal to negative 3 halves x minus 9 over 2. That's in slope-intercept form. Okay, a pool is being filled with water. If the pool contains 875 gallons of water and is being filled at a rate of 50 gallons per minute, answer the following questions. Find a linear function that gives the number of gallons in the tank t minutes after the water is turned on. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Okay. 875 gallons of water. So my beginning value is 875. Then my rate of change is 50 gallons per minute. So my rate of change equals 50 gallons per minute. Okay. Well, the beginning value, this is the same thing as my B, and the rate of change is my M. So my function becomes G is equal to 50 T. They're telling me they want us to use G for gallons, T for the number of minutes, plus the initial value of 875. Okay, so this is part A. For part B, it says find the amount of water in the pool after 30 minutes. That means find G when T is 30. So G is equal to 50 times 30 plus 875. So that's what? 1500 plus 875, so that's 2375 gallons. Okay, so part C, it says find the time. So find T when G is 30,000. So 30,000, let me make sure I've got enough zeros in there, is 50T plus 875. Okay, so I'll subtract 875, and that gives me 29,125 is equal to 50T. Divide by 50, and that tells me that T is equal to, and I hope my arithmetic is correct, 582.5, and that's minutes. So it takes 582.5 minutes. Okay. All right. So Ryan works at an appliance store on commission. So he receives a weekly salary. So let's look at some important information here. We have a weekly salary of $450, and he also gets 5% of any merchandise he sells. Okay. So write a function that gives his gross wages per week in terms of her sales in dollars X. Okay, so the wages is equal to the salary plus the commissions. So his salary is, or her, is $450 plus 5%. And remember, 5% is 0.05. 0.05, and the weekly sales is X. So W is equal to 450 plus 0.05X. And you could have written it backwards. Okay. All right. So how much will he earn? How much will he earn if he sells 5,000 in merchandise? Okay, so for this part, we're going to let X equal 5,000 and find W. So W is equal to 450 plus 0.05 times 500. So that's 450 plus 250, which is 700. Okay. How much does he have to sell in order to earn 1,500? Okay, so we're going to let W equal 1,500 and find X. So 1,500 is equal to 450 plus 0.05x. Subtract 450 from both sides. I get 1,050 is equal to 0.05x. Divide by 0.05 and you get x equals 21,000. Okay, a manufacturer of dishwashers has fixed costs of 9,800 and variable costs of 108 per dishwasher. Find the cost function. Okay, so here we've got, this is very much like the problem with the keyboards. We've got fixed costs, which is pays for their factory and everybody's salaries and all of those. And then they have the additional cost of what it takes to make each dishwasher. Okay, so C is going to be the cost, and D is going to be the number of dishwashers. Okay, so the cost is equal to the fixed cost plus 108 per dishwasher or times D. Okay, so how many dishwashers can be manufactured for a total cost of $29,000? That means that we're going to let the cost equal 29,000 and find D. Okay, so 29,000 is equal to 9,800 plus 108D. When I subtract 9,800, I get 19,800 is equal to 108D. When I divide by 108, I get D, and it's not a whole number, it's 177.78. Okay, now you have to think about this. Normally you would round up, but if the total cost is 29,000, if you make that 178th dishwasher, you've gone over that. Okay, so D is going to be 177 dishwashers. Okay, 47. The boiling point of water can be approximated by the model T, so that's temperature in Fahrenheit, equals negative 1.3 A plus 212, where A is the altitude in thousands of feet. Determine the temperature at which water boils at an altitude of 17,000 feet. Round to the nearest degree. Okay, so what does this tell us? Determine the temperature at which water boils at an altitude at 17,000 feet. That means let our altitude equal 17,000 and find T. Okay, so T is equal to negative 1.83 times 17,000 plus 212, which is 180.89. And then it says round to the nearest degree. So the temperature is going to be 181. Whoops, oh, I said a 1. 181 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, 48. A salesperson earns $70 per day plus 12% of commission on sales over $100. Uh-oh, they've put a little twist in here for 12% commission on merch sales over $100. And we have a 70 per day. Okay. If her daily earnings are 115.24, how much were her merchandise sales? Okay, well, let's set up an equation for this. Let's let E equal total earnings, and X equal sales. Okay, so we know from here that our earnings is $70 plus, and we know 12% is 0.12, 0.12. But it's not on her total sales, it's on her sales over 100, so we have to take her sales minus the first 100. Okay, so let's see. So if her daily earnings are 150, so that means let E equal 115.24 and find X. Okay, so that means I'm starting out with 115.24 is equal to 70 plus 0.12 times X minus 100. All right, now I'll continue this up here. I'm going to distribute, so that gives me 115.24 is equal to 70 plus 0.12x minus 12. So 115.24 is equal to 58 plus 0.12x. When I subtract 58 from both sides, I get 57.24 is equal to 0.12x. When I divide by 0.12, I get that x is 477. And I'm not big. If as long as you tell me what x stands for, I'm not big on you writing it as a complete sentence. Time to change videos.